Hello, good morning Year 4. This is Mrs. Keeley with your maths lesson, and today's learning point is, can I add fractions with the same denominator? So first of all, think about the different parts of the fraction, the numerator and the denominator. And so the denominator is the part at the bottom that tells us how many parts there is in your fraction in total. So we're going to be adding fractions with the same denominator.
3, 2, 1, blast off! Wow, blasting off used up 5/8 of your fuel. If you used 5/8 of your fuel to take off, and another 2/8 to get this far, how much fuel have you used? To add fractions that have the same denominators, you add together the numerators. And if you started with 8/8 and you've used 7/8, how much fuel do you have left to get home?
Inside your pack that you should have collected last week, you should have a blank fraction wall. So on your fraction wall, you're going to need a pencil or a colouring pencil, but something to colour in your fraction wall with. So on your fraction wall, can you show 3/4? So you can pause the video as you're doing that, and then when you unpause, I'm going to reveal. Right, so you should have coloured in 3/4 on your fraction wall. Right, next, can you colour in 4/10? So find the part of your fraction wall that is divided up into 10. And once you have found that, can you colour in 4 of those tenths? So pause and then have a go. And that's what it should look like. Right, next fraction, 7/8. Can you find the part of your fraction wall that is divided up into eighths? And then can you colour in 7 of those eighths? Hope you've paused and you're doing that. There we go, that's what it should look like, 7/8. And can you find the part of your fraction wall that is divided up into 12 parts? And can you colour in 5 of them? So if you pause your video, you can do that now. There we go, 5/12 of your fraction wall coloured in. Right, next, can you colour in 2/6 on your fraction wall? There we go. And on your fraction wall, mark another 3/6. So you've already got 2/6 coloured in. 2/6 coloured in, beg your pardon. Now can you colour in another 3/6? Now, how many sixths have been coloured in all together? That's right, 5/6. So you can see we've actually done some fraction addition then. 2/6 and 3/6 equal 5/6. And you can see that clearly on the fraction wall there. Shall we try another one? On your fraction wall, can you colour in 5/12? Now your twelfths are right at the bottom. So can you colour in 5 of those? Right, now can you colour in another 4 of those twelfths? Can you be thinking how many there are altogether? That's right, 5/12 and 4/12 equal 9/12. Right, next, can you colour in 3/10? Well done. And on your fraction wall, can you mark another 2/10? You can just shade that in quickly. Now you should be thinking, how many tenths do you have altogether? And then can you mark another 4/10? This time you can just do it with dots so you can nice and easily see. There we go. Now how many tenths have been coloured in altogether? So that is 3/10, add 2/10, add 4/10, and you can see that that makes 9/10. Right, so we now have this fraction bar here. Now how could this be used to show 2/5? Right, so first of all, we know that it needs to be split into equal parts. So a fraction is split into equal parts and each one is a fraction. Now, you should be an expert at doing this from yesterday. Could you show 2/5 if you had a bar like that? You know, you could be using your whiteboard if you wanted, or you could just be doing some jottings in your maths book. There we go. So 2 of the 5 sections needs to be coloured in to represent 2/5. Right, so on your whiteboard or in the back of your maths book, could you make some jottings to show fraction bars for each of these fractions? So you can pause the video here and then you can have a go at doing that. And this should have been what you had either on your whiteboard or in your maths book or on a piece of paper. Right, now can you now draw a fraction bar to represent 3/8? So first of all you need to have a fraction bar divided up into 8 and then colouring in 3. So now your task is, can you add 4/8 so that the fraction bar shows 3/8? Add 4/8. And what's that going to give you all together? I hope you're shouting it out at the screen. That's right. 3/8 add 4/8 is going to equal 7/8. Right, so in a second I'm going to be asking you to pause this, and on your whiteboard or in your maths book, can you have a go at drawing fraction bars and solving these calculations? Now guys, if you feel like you can do this without drawing the fraction bars, go for it, that's absolutely fine. So pause your video now and have a go. Right, how did you get on there? So if you weren't sure about any of them, this is what they should look like. Okay, so notice on the bottom one, 4/6 and 2/6, that makes a whole 1. Okay, that makes a whole 1 there. So what do you notice about the numerators and the denominators when you add the fractions? Well, our denominators are all the same, and our numerators, apart from the bottom one, are less than the denominator. Right, so can you draw a fraction bar to calculate 3/4 and 2/4? You can pause that and have a go. Right, and if you weren't sure, this is what it should look like. Right, so can you spot what has happened now? So 3/4 add 2/4, it makes 5/4 or a whole 1 and a quarter. And you can see that clearly on the fraction bar. Right, now, can you have a go? And you could draw some fraction bars for these at pausing the video and then seeing if you can solve these two fraction additions. Okay, hope you had a go, and if you're not sure, this is what you should have had. So 5/6 add 4/6 equals 9/6, or 1 and then 3/6, and you can see that really clearly on the fraction bar. And 6/8 plus 6/8 equals 12/8, or 1 and 4/8. Right, so it's your turn to have a go now. In your pack, you will find a sheet that looks like this. In your pack, I've put a green one and an orange one and a red one so that you can choose. I would like you to use your knowledge that we've just been looking at to see if you can have a go at adding the fractions using those fraction bars. And if you get stuck or if you're not sure about anything, you can take a peek at the answers and self-mark once you've had a go. Also in your pack, there is a super challenge that you will find in there. So if you have done the red challenge here and you've thought, yes, I understand what I'm doing, I want to challenge myself, in there you will find a super challenge. Good luck, Year 4.